Welcome to the F-Bound Podcast. I'm your host, Shannon Schroeder, Executive Function Coach. I help neurodivergent women learn tips and strategies to improve the life skills that will help them be successful. 7 organization strategies for neurodivergent people. Staying organized isn't always easy, but for neurodivergent people, it can feel impossible. Traditional methods might not align with the way your brain works, and that's okay. The key is finding organization strategies that match your unique thinking patterns and sensory needs. Number 1, the basket system. If you're someone who struggles with executive function or gets overwhelmed by clutter, the basket system could be the organization strategy you've been searching for. This simple, effective method utilizes baskets to corral items into categories, creating a visual system that helps you see and manage your belongings without burning out decision-making energy. It's not about making everything perfect, it's about making everything manageable. Why the basket system works. For neurodivergent people, traditional organizational methods often feel rigid or overly complex. The basket system stands out because it's built for simplicity. Here's why this strategy is especially useful. Reduces decision fatigue. Have you ever felt drained just trying to decide where something belongs? Baskets eliminate this by creating broad categories. Instead of debating, should it go in this drawer, that shelf, or over there, you toss it into a designated basket. Problem solved. Creates visual clarity. A lot of neurodivergent people rely on visual cues. If you can see your items grouped together, it's easier to remember where they are and understand what needs attention. For example, a mail basket ensures that no more lost bills floating between countertops and desks. Low maintenance and adaptable. You don't need fancy systems or a labeling spree to make this work. Even a few cheap bins from a dollar store can transform how you organize your space. And if the system stops working, you can easily tweak it to meet your needs. This strategy taps into the strengths of neurodivergent minds, focusing on clear visuals and reducing mental clutter. If the thought of color-coded spreadsheets gives you anxiety, the basket system might feel like a breath of fresh air. Number 2, zone organizing. Zone organizing is all about separating your living or working space into clearly defined areas based on specific activities or needs. This simple method improves functionality and supports mental clarity, a game changer for the neurodivergent people who function best with clear, logical systems. Setting up functional zones in your space. Think of your space like a set of mini environments within the bigger picture. Each zone has a purpose, much like different apps on your phone. By grouping related tasks or items in one area, you minimize distractions and make it easier to stay focused on what you're doing. Plus, it creates a natural flow in your space that can reduce overwhelm and promote efficiency. Here's how to start. Decide what you need. What are the main activities you do at home? Think work, relaxation, cooking, hobbies, or even taking sensory breaks. Identifying these core needs is the first step in defining zones. Assign locations. Pick parts of your space that naturally fit each activity. For instance, you might choose the coziest corner for a reading nook or a bright, distraction-free desk for working. Use visual cues. Neurodivergent brains often thrive on visual clarity. Use rugs, shelves, or even different colors to mark where one zone ends and another begins. Organize by function. Make sure all the tools you need for a given activity are within reach. Your cooking zone, for example, might keep utensils, spices, and cutting boards right near the stove. Keep it flexible. Life changes and so do your needs. Don't feel like zones are set in stone. If something isn't working, tweak it until it does. Setting up zones isn't just about where things go. It's about transforming your space into a supportive, functional environment. Examples of zones for everyday activities. You might be thinking, okay, but what zones do I actually need? Here are a few real-life examples to inspire you. The quiet zone. This is your go-to spot when you're feeling overstimulated and need a sensory break. It could be a chair with noise-canceling headphones, a weighted blanket, or fidget tools. The focus zone. Whether it's for work, study, or hobbies, this area should be free of distractions. Keep only what you need, your laptop, a task lamp, and maybe a timer for staying on track. The creative zone. Love art, crafting, or DIY projects? Gather all your supplies in one space to make it easier to dive right in. Pegboards, bins, or shelves can keep things visible without creating clutter. The daily essentials zone. A launch pad by the door can save you from scrambling every time you leave the house. Think hooks for keys, a tray for your wallet and phone, and a basket for grab-and-go items like sunglasses or reusable bags. The relax zone. Picture the perfect chill spot. Maybe it's a couch with a soft lighting, a favorite blanket, or a playlist queued up. This zone is all about recharging your mental batteries. With a little creativity, you can tailor these zones to fit exactly what you need. The beauty of this strategy is its adaptability. It works in everything from studio apartments to spacious homes. Zone organizing simplifies your space while making it work for you. A win for neurodivergent minds that crave structure and flexibility. 3. Visual organization. When you think about organizing your space, visuals might not be the first thing that comes to mind, but visual organization taps into the natural strengths of your brain, making it easier to see, manage, and stick to systems that work. The role of visuals in organization. Why do visuals like color coding, labels, or transparent containers matter so much? For many neurodivergent people, these tangible tools bridge the gap between mental chaos and physical clarity. If your brain tends to hold on to 100 open tabs at once, visuals give you an external roadmap to what's important. Clarity and memory. If you can see it, you're less likely to forget it. Transparent containers, for instance, make it easy to know what's inside without sifting through piles. Color-coded folders work the same way. They create instant recognition and save your brain from unnecessary searches. Structure without rigidity. Visual cues provide a sense of structure without the stiffness of rule-heavy systems. For example, a simple label on a shelf can gently nudge you toward putting something back in its place. No forcing required. Reduces decision fatigue. Constant decisions, tiny or big, wear you out. Visual tools shrink the decision pool. A red label screams urgent, while a blue one whispers later, eliminating the need for mental debate every time. Visual strategies don't just organize your space, they organize your brain. If you're struggling with clutter, adding these aids can create a sense of order without overwhelming you. Tools and tips for visual organization. Here's where it gets practical. Visual organization works best when you have the right tools and a few clever tricks up your sleeve. Tools worth having. Label makers, a must-have for marking bins, shelves, or even drawers. Clear labels remind you where things belong. Color coding systems. Use color markers, tape, or stickers to define categories. Think green folders for finances, blue for hobbies. Transparent containers. Store your items in see-through bins so you never have to guess what's inside. Cork boards or magnetic boards. Perfect for pinning reminders, to-do lists, or pictures of your goals. Sticky notes. Need to remember something? Stick it somewhere visible until it's done. Quick tips for success. Start small. Don't try to revamp your whole house in one go. Pick one area, maybe your desk, and focus on adding visual elements. Consistency is key. Use the same labeling system or color system throughout. It keeps things simple for your brain. Adjust over time. Don't lock yourself into a forever system. If something stops working, tweak it until it feels right again. Play with placement. Visual aids are only helpful if you can see them. Keep them at eye level or within reach of your regular routine. Involve your senses. Pairing visuals with touch like textured labels or even sound like timers can make some systems even more effective for neurodivergent needs. By using the right tools and personalizing your approach, you can create systems that feel easy, natural, and actually enjoyable to maintain. 4. Anchor points for daily organization. Sometimes the little things can make the biggest impact. Anchor points are specific spots where you consistently place essential items, your keys, wallet, glasses, or even your favorite on-the-go gadget. For neurodivergent people, setting up these anchor points can reduce frustration, save time, and lower stress. Using anchor points to reduce stress. Have you ever felt that split-second panic when your keys aren't where you thought they'd be, or scrambled to leave on time only to realize your wallet has gone MIA? These micro-stresses can build up, turning your day into a frustration spiral. The good news? Anchor points offer an easy solution. By designating specific, consistent spots for your essential items, you take one less decision off your plate each day. Neurodivergent people often thrive on routine and visual clarity, and anchor points create exactly that. They give your mind a break from constantly asking, "Where did I leave that?" Plus, when everything has a set place, putting them back becomes automatic, almost like muscle memory. This can help preserve energy for higher priority tasks. A popular starting tip: many neurodivergent people recommend creating an out-the-door tray or hook near your front door for daily items. This small change can cut down on the morning chaos and help you leave the house calmly and on time. Creating consistent anchor points. So, how do you establish these anchor points and stick to them? It's easier than you think, but consistency is key. Start by deciding what you lose track of most often: keys, glasses, chargers. Once you've identified your essentials, take these simple steps. Pick prime locations. Choose spots that feel natural and convenient for each item. For instance, leave your wallet in the same tray by the door or choose a consistent drawer for your glasses. The idea is to pick places you already frequent. Make it visible. Use visual cues to reinforce the habit. A small, colorful bow for your keys or a brightly labeled drawer can grab your attention and remind you where items belong. Stick to the habit. Building habits take time. Attach this new routine to something you already do, like putting your keys in a bowl as soon as you get home. Gentle reminders, sticky notes, or phone alarms can also help you at first. Involve everyone. This one's optional. If you live with others, ensure they're on board with keeping your anchor points undisturbed. Consistency only works if the system stays intact. Lastly, don't be afraid to tweak. If one anchor point isn't working, change it. The goal is to make your life easier, not force yourself into a rigid system that doesn't feel natural. Anchor points are small, simple hack, but they pack a big payoff for streamlining your day. 5. The one-touch rule. The one-touch rule is a straightforward strategy to tackle mess and procrastination before they spiral out of control. The idea is simple. When you interact with an object, whether it's a piece of mail, your jacket, or dirty dishes, you handle it immediately, rather than setting it aside for later. For neurodivergent people, this rule can be particularly effective in building habits that reduce decision fatigue and keep clutter at bay. How the one-touch rule supports executive functioning. Do you ever get stuck looking at a pile of things to do and just freeze? Executive functioning, which involves planning, prioritizing, and making decisions, can feel like a heavy lift, especially for neurodivergent people. Here's where the one-touch rule steps in to lighten that load. By committing to completing a task the first time you interact with it, you reduce the need for repetitive decisions. For example, instead of endlessly shifting unopened mail from one spot to another, you open it, sort it, and deal with it immediately. Procrastination shrinks when there's no "I'll deal with it later" mindset. The one-touch rule turns avoidance into action, reinforcing positive habits over time. Think of it as setting your brain on autopilot for tasks that don't deserve extra energy. Practical applications of the one-touch rule. Below are a few ways you can apply the one-touch rule to common organizational challenges. Mail management. When you bring in the mail, don't toss it on a counter that ends up becoming a disaster zone. Open it right away, file what's important, and shred anything you don't need to keep. Dishes. Instead of leaving dirty plates to pile up in the sink, wash them as soon as you're finished eating, or at the very least load them into the dishwasher immediately. Clothing. When you come home, hang your jacket and put away your shoes instead of dropping them by the door. It signals the end of your day and keeps your entryway clear. Emails and messages. Treat digital clutter the same way. If an email or text takes less than a couple of minutes to reply to, handle it immediately. The brilliance of the one-touch rule lies in its simplicity. It minimizes friction in your routine and frees up your mental energy for bigger, more meaningful tasks. 6. Small space solutions. When you're working with limited space, every square inch counts. For neurodivergent people, clutter in small areas can amplify overwhelm, turning what should be a cozy home into a source of stress. Creating order in compact spaces requires a mix of creativity and practicality. With thoughtful storage strategies and decluttering habits, you can make even the tiniest area feel functional and calming. Maximizing storage in small areas. Living in a small space doesn't mean sacrificing organization. It just takes smart tools and strategies. Making the most of vertical space and choosing dual-purpose furniture are game changers when you're trying to fit a lot into a little. Here are practical ideas to maximize storage in your home. Go vertical. Walls aren't just for pictures. Add shelves, hooks, or pegboards to keep items off the floor and within reach. Collapsible organizers. Use fabric bins, stackable crates, or foldable baskets that can expand for use but minimize when not needed. Furniture that does more. Furniture with built-in storage, like beds with drawers underneath or a coffee table that doubles as a trunk, can offer hidden spots for belongings. These methods reduce clutter while keeping everything visible and accessible, key for preventing items from falling into an out-of-sight, out-of-mind black hole. Decluttering strategies for small spaces. Decluttering isn't just about tossing things out, it's about creating calm by prioritizing what truly matters. This is especially important in smaller areas where every item can feel like it's competing for space. Here's how to start simplifying your stuff no matter how small your home is. The one in, one out rule. Every time you bring something new in, commit to removing an item. This keeps your belongings balanced, especially in tight spaces. Set a time limit. Work in short bursts like 15 to 20 minutes so you don't get overwhelmed. Ask questions. Does this item serve a purpose or bring you joy? If not, let it go. It's as simple as that. Designate zones. Sorting items by category, like a drawer for electronics or a box for seasonal clothes, makes storage straightforward. Decluttering for neurodivergent people is about building systems that feel manageable. Focus on keeping only the items that make your space feel lighter, not more stressful. The key here, small changes can have a big impact on how you interact with your space daily. You deserve a home that supports you. Number 7, sensory-friendly organizing. Creating sensory-friendly space isn't just about tidiness, it's about crafting an environment that feels supportive and calming, especially for neurodivergent people. By reducing overwhelming sensory input and tailoring organizational strategies to your needs, you can transform your space into a haven of comfort and functionality. Reducing sensory overload through organization. A cluttered space can overwhelm your senses, creating visual chaos and mental stress. By minimizing clutter and choosing soothing colors or textures, you can ease some of that sensory overload. Imagine walking into a room where every element, from the soft lighting to the neatly organized shelves, works together to create calm instead of chaos. Here's how to get started. Declutter strategically. Focus on one area at a time, whether it's a desk or a corner of your room. Keep only the items you need or love most. Decluttering isn't just about tidiness, it reduces the noise that physical objects can bring to your senses. Choose calming colors and textures. Muted tones like soft blues or grays can visually soothe, while heavy fabrics like velvet add a sense of grounding. Avoid bold, bright colors or overwhelming patterns unless they bring you comfort. Organize for simplicity. Categorize items in a way that makes them easy to find but not overly complex. Think broad categories like hobbies or work supplies. A sensory-friendly space isn't just organized, it's also gentle on your senses. The key is to prioritize what feels good for you. Adjustments like these can make a world of difference when it comes to creating a sensory-friendly, organized space that supports your daily comfort. Organizing as a neurodivergent person doesn't mean forcing yourself into systems that don't work for you. It's about finding what feels right and makes life easier. The strategy shared here, from the basket system and zone organizing to sensory-friendly setups and the one-touch rule, offer a variety of approaches tailored to different needs. Each method focuses on reducing stress, saving time, and creating systems that support your brain's natural rhythms. Experiment with these organization strategies to see what clicks. Maybe you'll love the simplicity of anchor points or find freedom in decluttering small spaces. There's no one-size-fits-all solution, and that's the beauty of it. Success is about what works for you. Start small, stay flexible, and remember that building an organized space isn't about perfection. It's about making your surroundings a source of calm and productivity. Which strategy are you excited to try first? Jump in and take it one step at a time. You've got this. I hope you enjoyed this episode of the F-Bomb Podcast. Thank you for listening. Remember to subscribe below and check out my show notes to learn more about my Facebook group, courses, and membership.